So for the first question, I chose question number 2, which is 2 sine x minus 1 equals 0. And this is how I did it. So I did 2 sine, oh sorry, 2 sine 3x, I didn't read it right, 3x equals 1. And then I moved the 2 over here to the 1, which gave me 1/2, because I divided it by both sides, 2 by both sides. And then I got, sorry, it's a little shaky, 3x equals sine negative 1 over 1/2. So I took the inverse sine. And then I got 3x, or sorry, I got equals sine negative 1, 0.5. And then I took the inverse sine of that, and I got 3x equals 30 degrees, or x equals also 10 degrees. And then there's also another answer to this, and that's if you take sine inverse of 0.5, you also get 150 degrees. And then you get 3x equals 150, and then x equals 50 degrees. And the next question I chose was 6. And for 6, I did, so the equation is 2 sine squared x minus sine x minus 1 equals 0. So I did sine x equals k, and 2k squared minus k minus 1 equals 0. And then I factor that, so I get 2x plus 1, k minus 1, which equals 0. And then we did 2x plus 1, k minus 1 equals 0. And then I got 2k plus 1 equals 0. And then 2k equals minus 1. And then k equals negative 1/2. Okay, and then now I'm going to move on here. And so sine x equals negative 1/2. X equals sine negative 1, so the inverse, and then 1/2, which equals sine negative 1, or inverse, 0.5, which x equals 210 degrees, 210 degrees, or 300 degrees. So that is the entire equation, and that is how I did it. Now moving on to question number 9. So the third question is what I chose, and that's question number 9. Okay, so the question I chose, or the equation for number 9, is 310 x over 2 plus 3 equals 0. So I went 310 x over 2 equals negative 3. So I moved this, I did negative 3 and then negative 3 over here, which canceled out, and then the negative 3 was left there. And then I did 10 x over 2, which equaled negative 3 over 3. And then I had 10, sorry, I'm going to do this better. My writing's very bad. 10x over 2 equals negative 1. And put a bracket over it. And that equals sorry, 1 second. So then we have x over 2, put a bracket, which equals 10 negative 1, negative 1, so the inverse of 10, which equals 135 degrees, and then, or 315 degrees. So there's two answers to this. X over 2 equals 135, and x equals 135, so you times that by 2, and then you get 270 degrees, yay! And the other one is x over 2 equals 315, and x equals 315 times 2, which equals 630 degrees, yay! Moving on. Okay, so the next question I chose was question 10, and this is the very last question. Oh wait, I'm just going to do an overview of how I did question number 9. There we go. This is an overview, just so you can see it. Okay, question number 10. The equation for question number 10 is sec squared x minus 210x equals 4. So how you would do this is you get 1 plus 10 2x minus 210x equals 4. Okay, got it. So then we have 10 2x equal or minus 210x equal 3. Then we have 10 squared x minus 210x minus 3 equals 0. And then we have 10x plus 3. So we factor this. Or sorry, plus 1. And then 10x minus 3, which equals 0. And now we have 10x plus 1 equals 0. And 10x equals negative 1. And x equals 10 inverse 1 of negative 1, which gives us 135 degrees and 315 degrees. The other way to do it would be 10x minus 3 equals 0, 10x equals 3, x equals 10, negative 1, 3, which equals 71.5 degrees. And I believe 251 degrees. 51.5 degrees. So that is how I did that question. So, yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed.